morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Julie and Milo Show. Today is February 3rd, 2021. My name is Julie. I'm coming to you from Newport Coast, California. My dear friend Milo. Milo, could you please say hello?
Hey, how you guys doing? Milo from Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you, Milo. Milo, you and I have so much fun when it comes to the Julie and Milo Show because we are the most blessed people. We get to talk to people from all over the world, get their story firsthand until other people to know it. So I'm so excited to be here. And I know the topic that you and I have always talked about in the past months is a topic of OnPassive. And I think OnPassive, actually, I'm not thinking, but I'm saying that OnPassive is the reason for you and I to have this show. So you might ask, what is OnPassive? OnPassive is the ultimate, a complete and a unique digital marketing solutions that actually ensures that everyone involved will find success, right? Regardless of whatever the background you are in, regardless of the ability, you don't have to know technology in order to be in OnPassive. It's made simple and it's offered the highest standards and the highest value while sustaining the benefits. And everybody who is OnPassive will win. And that is actually a guarantee in OnPassive. I'm excited about that, Milo. And I know behind OnPassive is a community of people that gather together, share the vision of Mr. Ash move forward. And today we have an awesome guest here today. Milo, could you please introduce our guest?
Absolutely, Julie. And it's so good to have this person with us. It's not very often that you get to interview the interviewer. But today we get to do that. One of the great people and co-founders are OnPassive. Let me bring her to the stage right now. Tyra Nybergall.
Nybergall. Hi, guys.
I'm so sorry.
Hi, nice to see you.
How are you?
Welcome to the show, Tyra. Hope you're well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Like Milo said, it's always interesting being on the other side, being questioned rather than questioning. So this is fun.
It's a little different. It's a little different when the shoe's on the other foot, but it's great to have you here with us. So Tyra, what we want to know about you, about Tyra. Who is Tyra? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born and about your family?
Okay, well, I'm a farm girl. My baba came from the Ukraine when she was a young girl, married. They got land in Saskatchewan, Canada, and began farming. So I come from that good, strong farming stock, if you will. So grew up in a small farming community my whole life. Even when we started school, a lot of my friends couldn't even speak English. They spoke Ukrainian. My parents were different. They did not want me to speak Ukrainian. So I was one that could manage English well. And growing up there, grew up in a bigger center, the whole shebang, got married. I have 2 kids. We have 5 grandchildren back in Saskatchewan and in Alberta. 5 years ago, my husband and I moved to Vancouver Island, BC, Canada. We just got, if you know anything about Saskatchewan, it gets cold. Like we're talking -40 cold, like your eyelashes freeze. Oh. And I said to my husband, I've had it. Like I can't, I can't do this anymore.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, we moved to the island because it's still in Canada, but it's a very mild climate, like 3 to 6 degrees while we're in Celsius in Canada. So yeah, so very mild winters and it's always green here. So I'm happy.
It's beautiful up there. I've been up there visiting once and it was just absolutely gorgeous up there.
Yes.
Very interesting. So Tyra, I know that you are really enjoying your life. And I know that there are things in lives that you have done that actually very interesting. We get to see some of them in your bio when you send it to us. However, the viewer is not being able to see what you sent us. So tell our viewers, what are interesting things that you've done in your life?
Okay, well, something that I did share with you that was a great passion for my husband and I, he had a vision to start a drop-in center originally for adults. But as it began to evolve, it became more youth-centered. And we were under the umbrella of a church. So we had our youth pastors run a program in the upstairs of a church that we bought for, you know, teens to young adults. And then I started an after school program for kids younger, like 5, 6, up to maybe 12 to 14. And did that each weekend. We did in the basement of the church. I built little sections with nets so we could play basketball. We built some booths and we would give the kids some snacks and stuff. We had major donations for games and different things. So we had kind of a whole array of things to keep the kids occupied, you know, like on a Friday or Saturday when, I don't know if you know anything about, you know, some of the goings on when people are involved in alcohol and drugs, but it's not fun for kids a lot of the time. So we kind of provided them a safe area to be in the evening. And it was quite exciting. It was eyebrow raising and harrowing at times, things that we had to face that were very different. I did that for 5 years. My husband kind of helped me out with that. I had 25 volunteers that I managed, you know, because we had to have people on staff. We had to kind of have security. I did a lot of speaking at churches because people were donating. So of course, if they donated money, I would go and talk about what was happening, what was going on. And something that happened that was just amazing. We had a fairly large sum of money donated one time, and we decided to buy really big tents and take the kids camping. Well, some of these kids had never even been out of town, let alone camping. So it was quite the experience. Oh, I tell you. But yeah, we had a lot of things like that going on that were really good. You know, it's a passion of my heart. I love the underdog. I love to see young people impacted with people that have no motive but caring about them, no motive but love. And it changes lives. Like I really found, you know, I think of one little guy that he was just heck on wheels, if you will, raised by his grandpa, came from a really rough background. And this little guy was just a little orangutan. He would have been about 7 at the time, you know, and we had to really spend a lot of extra time with him. And I remember the day we would sit around and play some board games. I remember the day he came over and plopped himself on my lap because we were going to play a game. There was no chairs next to me, so he plopped himself on his lap, on my lap, and he just leaned back, and I could feel him relax. And it was like, there's no words to see how you can impact kids at a young age. And to me, that helps them kind of turn off some of the paths maybe they shouldn't be on, you know?
Absolutely. Man, I love that story. I really love that story. I mean, it's so important how we can make a difference in people's lives like that, especially at a young age, you know, and you never know where they're going to go or what they're going to become. And it's just cool watching it. So, but I told you, I was up in Vancouver and Vancouver Island or whatever. I loved it up there. And I went on up to Whistler, beautiful area up there. But I see you got your hobbies, you and your husband, you like to hike and explore, and that's a good place to do it up there. But also you have started, or you love to do paintings, and it says pouring on canvas and drawings with pencil called tangle art. Is that like an abstract art, or do you actually do scenes from up there?
Well, okay, so one thing, Vancouver, you said you were in Vancouver. That's on the mainland.
Right.
The island is separate.
I've been there. I've been both of them. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, so tangle art is kind of, yeah, it's sort of abstract. I should have had something here that I could show you. I had one piece entered in an art show with a bunch of other ladies that was fun. But basically you're drawing kind of abstract things, you know, like the old doodling.
Uh-huh.
I was the kid in school that the teacher was always taking my pencils away because I'd constantly be doodling in my notebook, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, you know, you would be making little designs and connecting them, and you know, it's such an incredibly relaxing thing to do. I just absolutely love it. And yeah, like the hiking you said, we do that every weekend. It's endless here. And I just got into this acrylic pouring. You take paint and you pour it on a canvas, and you move the canvas around, and you kind of make really abstract kind of things.
Oh, cool.
Another thing that's fun and relaxing, I make a nice big mess in my office. And
Absolutely. That's great, man.
Very interesting. So today we learned about you, but then we also wanted to hear about the subject that many of us, hundreds, thousands of us are talking about. That subject is OnPassive. To me, it is something where I live in, eat in, and sleep in OnPassive because it's the most exciting things for me. And I'm very sure as you've done your show, you are actually very excited about OnPassive. So please tell us, when did you join OnPassive, and how did you hear about OnPassive, and why did you make the decision to join OnPassive? So there's 3 questions for you.
yeah, good. I came into OnPassive as a co-founder in June. I was doing another affiliate marketing business for 3 years before that, until I found this in June. And it kind of promised you a lot of big things as far as income. But when you got in, you realize, just a second here, I got to do all the advertising. I got to figure out how to get eyeballs on my website. And so for 3 years, I struggled like mad. So I was getting to the point of saying, like, I need to pack this in. I've actually spent more on product, and plus every year you have to almost 3,000 you have to keep putting in again, plus the advertising. So I was thinking of, you know, maybe leaving completely or finding something else. And this came across, a friend had shared some of the information with me, kind of in passing. She didn't say too much. And pardon me. And I didn't even barely look at it, to be honest. But when I saw that it was IT, AI, online, I was like, I'm signing up. I didn't talk to my husband, nothing. I just did it because I know with what I've been doing that is where the people are, and that is where the money is. So I got in right away. And I do not regret 1 second of it.
Wow. I know you are, and many of us are exciting about OnPassive. What do you feel like for you now that you are in OnPassive? Share with us your excitement, you know, because I'm very sure you probably have the same feeling as Milo and I. Every time when we sit down and we have a meeting with Ash Mufarad, Mr. Ash Mufarad is our CEO, and our heart and our mind are extended. And we, you know, every time when we sit together, we cannot sleep that night, that evening, because we have to process through that, all that information that he's giving us. Share with us a little bit about your feelings just on that part.
Well, you know, I've heard many people say there's maybe 1 to 10% that really realize what we have with OnPassive. And if we really got it, it would be an extremely mind-blowing situation because the vastness of what is here. I had spoke about, you know, some people have said, well, this is magic. It's just amazing. And it's like, yeah, you could say that. But when I listen to Ash Mufarad, it's brilliance. That's what it is. He has taken all those years of his experience and what did and didn't work, and he put it in to this business plan with what works. And it is absolutely brilliant. Like, if you consider for a minute a company that, say, would have, let's say they invited in 3 founders and charged them $50 million to come in because they needed 150 million, okay? Now they've got them and they've got their money to get going. Well, this company is gonna have to go hard and get advertising and get those eyeballs to get customers. Now you consider what Ash Mufareh has done. He has taken X amount of people, and we're almost at 500,000 founders. And he is charging under $300 because we have 97 to join, and we have, you know, our subscription, which will be under $250. So you can more or less say under $300. So you consider $300 and the kind of money that has created. Now all of a sudden you go public and you've got 500,000 customers because founders will use the product. I sit here and I think about that, and it's like, it is sheer brilliance. It is. It's just sheer brilliance.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it is. You know, it's crazy when you think about it. I mean, that one statement was made once. What if he bought his own internet company or TV company? How many people you think would go to that? All of them. You got a built-in 500,000 customers, right then you become by far the biggest thing in the world, you know. But
yes,
it's you know, so this whole thing, and like you said, most of us don't realize what we have. And I've been in it for 2.5 years, and I learn something every day almost on it, you know. And I couldn't explain it to people, and it's not something you can explain in an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. It's so vast. And I like to say, man, tell me what you want to do, and then let me tell you what I think that OnPassive could do for you, you know, which is the thing. And you know, I say it, I have a saying that I say is we like to say that OnPassive is changing the world one person at a time. And it started with Ash Mufareh. And you know, when we first come in, we all think about, you know, how much money we're going to make. Maybe we think that, you know, or whatever. And then our mind changes. And part of it is listening to Ash, but it's like, you know, okay, the money's there. You're going to live in abundance. Now, are you going to take what you've got extra and hand to someone down below and pull them up to you, help them up? So they got this great program. I mean, the concept, like you said, the concept is just brilliant, what Ash's did. So talk to us a little bit about the Give Back program, because I can feel it in your heart, especially when you were talking about the kids. If you would have had something like this, oh my God, it would have made tons of difference in the world. So tell me a little about how you plan on doing it and what you plan on doing with it.
Right. Well, like you say, once your own money issues are dealt with, it's not something that's on your mind. Right. So then, yes, all of a sudden the door is open. Okay, now, what are the things that I want to do with this? Well, there's a couple things, and I'm looking into a few more things, but there's 2 companies that I got involved with or groups probably over 10 years ago. One is called Kiva and one is called Esperanzo. And they're both basically a group that does microfinancing. Okay. So basically what they'll do is you can put out, say you put out your $100 and you can loan it to somebody. Say there's a man or a woman or maybe a group of people that want to start a little store, and this is all in underdeveloped countries. So they'll take a loan out and they'll have to pay it back little by little. And as that gets paid back, it gets put back in your account and then you can reloan it. And the reason I love this, and I like I said, I've been so passionate about doing this, is my husband, being from Saskatchewan, he's a real fisherman. He fishes summer, winter, whenever. And something he always said is that you can give someone a fish, but teach them how to fish, their lives change.
Right.
And, you know, my husband was with our church, was a pastor for, well, associate pastor for 4 years. And his heart to help people, like the excitement we have when we start talking about the things now that we can do, because money's not going to be the issue for us. So it's really quite limitless in what we're going to be able to do as far as helping people, teaching them how to fish. I'm just, that's my main, I'm so super excited about that.
Absolutely. I love that part of it too. I mean, with OnPassive, you can give that money, you know, to a person and get them in, you know, and then it actually builds that pot that you're giving out. It's remarkable, you know, that it can do that. And I love it, you know, I love that part of it. But man, it was, it just, you know, I know that, you know, like I said, listening to your heart, and when you're involved with kids, you can change kids' lives, you know, and you never know what they're going through in their life. And I've had many of them come back years later, you know, and thank me and stuff. And there's nothing better than that, you know. And if you can just give a little bit of time to some of them are hurting so bad, you know, and in the world, we have people that are hurting so bad, and we'll be able to help those people out. And it's a passion of mine also.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's so awesome. I know that I can feel your heart and I can feel your passion. And not only that, I actually can see wisdom in you because what you're doing every day, what you're doing in your show, what you're doing to the community is actually sharing the knowledge with other people. And I know if anyone is watching this video, they still thinking whether or not should I join OnPassive or should I plug in, or so many people actually listen to this video being an OnPassive, but they still have no clue what OnPassive is all about. So I like you to share your word of wisdom to these folks that still on the fence, or the folks that still not doing really anything when they already know that OnPassive is a treasure to them. So what do you say to them?
Right. Well, you know, to me, the biggest key with what OnPassive has to offer is, number one, is time freedom. Because, you know, whether I go to work all day, I'm getting a paycheck, I'm trading my time for it. So when you begin to have time freedom, your life changes.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you consider $97 US to become a founder, that is lifetime guaranteed refund. And I love that. I challenge you to find somewhere that will give you that. I have never seen it myself. So you can become a founder, whether you're unsure or whatever, but once you become a founder, you have your own personal back office. And you can get in there, you can look around, there's private webinars, there's a community. It's just jam-packed with information. There would be no reason why you couldn't find out more. And if you say after a month or say 6 months, you know what, this isn't for me, hey, we'll completely refund your money, because we are so sure with how Ash has set this up that you're gonna love it. You know, the Julie and Milo show, there's all kinds of people in OnPassive that are doing YouTube channels that they're just sharing information for free. Like, check it out, because fence sitting is never going to get you anywhere. Fear is never going to get you anywhere. It's never going to change your life. But taking that one step and making it happen, my goodness, what can happen in your life is just kind of beyond your dreams, really, with what OnPassive is offering.
Absolutely, absolutely. Milo, I know we're coming to the end of our show. However, I'd like you to say a few more words.
All right. Well, thank you, Julie. Tyra, it was so good having you on the show. And anyone that hasn't seen your show, they're missing something too. Tyra has a show that's out there with OnPassive. What is that? What is the website on that? Tyra?
I'm at TN Grow Wealth Together on YouTube.
Okay.
And I just did an exciting, one of my team members wanted to get her feet wet. So she's actually started co-hosting with me. So I'm really excited for her because she's really caught the vision.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. So if you haven't seen Tyra's show, man, take a look at it. It's great. But so good to have you on the show today. Back to you, Julie.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyra. Thank you for taking your time. I know you're very busy, but you're still carving out some time to share the story with us. Yes, the Julie Milo Show, it's a place, it's actually a very safe place for you to share your story. And yes, if you haven't heard Tyra shows, plug in because there's a lot of knowledge from that show is coming out. So check out Tyra's show. Tyra, could you say one more time, how do people get in touch with you in terms of watching your show?
So if they go to YouTube, they would just have to search TN Grow Wealth Together, and you'll find me there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyra. Yes, we'll grow wealth together. Yes. And that is actually in OnPassive as well. We are growing wealth together. And
yeah.
If you have no idea what OnPassive is about, get back with the person who shared this message with you, because when you do that, that person will be handing you a key to success. And yes, once you plug in when you are in OnPassive, it will change your life completely to a better way, a better time. You have more times in your life, more time to spend with your family. So get back with the person who shared this message with you. And if you are a founder of OnPassive, it is time for you to quit treating this business as a 97 expenditure, because it is a multi-million-dollar business. And by the way, that quote is from Milo. I love that quote so much because many of us who took the action, it's a $97 expenditure. You took that action, but you have to discover it. It is the key to your success. And the only thing that you have to do is to plug in, to engage, to like OnPassive posts, to like OnPassive blog, to share, to comment, and continue sharing. That's all you have to do. It is not an MLM. It is a real business, a real people, and real company. And we are licensed and registered. So take the action. And that's the key to your success. Thank you so much for watching the Julie and Milo Show. Really appreciate your time here. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and join our Facebook group, OnPassive with the Heart. We'd love to see you there. Thank you, Tyra, for being here with us. Thank you for watching. Good night from Newport Beach, California.
Good night from Vancouver Island.
Good night from Nashville.